half before he was not able to, like you said, couldn't even walk up the stairs. But I really appreciate when I'm looking back on it, like we all do in retrospect sometimes. It's a lot easier to see it when you're looking back. And when Martin says that his dad was teaching him things all along the way, that's mostly what good fathers do, is try to teach their children to be able to handle whatever situation comes up. You don't realize you're getting education until you start looking back and realizing, damn, that old dude did know what he was talking about. Back in the 90s, I think it was, it started as a small group. I think Dan was a center core of that group, going to Canyon de Guadalupe, about 30 miles off the main highway, down a treacherous mountain called La Rumarosa. And if you've never driven it, you really don't want to have to. And then there's 30 miles of dirt road and a washboard to get to the canyons, which has geothermal hot water running alongside that they've made hot tubs in the little campsites. So it makes camping there very unique. And it was a time for people to escape the Super Bowl weekend. That was the start of things. But as time went by and it became a fun thing to do, and the group got more people in it, and somebody says, hey, can I bring my friend? And can I bring my friend? And you ever have so much fun sometimes that all of a sudden I'm surrounded and I don't think I'm having a whole lot of fun. It gets to be too big sometimes. And we didn't make as many as we used to, but it was sure nice to go down there. And because Dan was such a writer and an articulate type of a person, he would, besides being a writer, he was also a great orator. But he wrote camp letters about these expeditions that were down in Guadalupe Canyon. Some of them, most of them, were very humorous. So at this time, I'd like to ask my friend Kat to come up and read an excerpt from one of the many camp letters that Dan wrote and sent to this group from an email. And one of the things that Dan did... Dan had this event he called the Camper from Hell. And he started some of these letters in 1994. And let's see, in 1990, Gabriella, a really ugly woman from LA. 1991, El Hombre Negro, the man in black, very self-important drunk from Mexicali. 1992, Jim Gelfo, a nice guy who had one bad night. You never know how the beer bottle will bounce. 1993, Ron, I thought the Jeep would make it. Whoa. Yeah, you're right. If you had 20 miles of the 25 to go across the lake bed, it might be forgivable. But you only got 400 yards before your Jeep bogged down. And the winter is in 1994. Obvious once that you get out of the rut of thinking, the award has to go to a human. It's coming.
You two work well together.
Too bad the wind's not blowing, we can blame it on that.
Oh, serious.
And Richard Borga. Turn it upside down, see if it reads any better.
Yeah, you have to start here.
Okay. So I'm going to read you an excerpt from the newsletter that applies to my trip down in Canyon, Guadalupe. All right, so the 1994 winners were obviously, once you get out of the rut of thinking, the award has to go to a human. For the merciless and unrelenting pissing on every tent corner, every cooler, every bumper, every tire, and just about every other vertical and horizontal surface in 1 acre campground, the 1994 5th Annual Camper from Hell Award goes to, drumroll, Sammy and Baron, Cat's 2 obnoxious Dobermans, which is not true. Yes, Marianne, the time you tried to arise from sitting on your cooler and your thigh stuck to the lid, that was Sammy and Baron. Yes, Amy, that odor you tried to identify while sitting at my table, Sammy and Baron. It was a remarkable thing to watch, the absolute single-mindedness of these two old, smelly dogs. Not true. One of the dogs even walks up with difficulty like it has canine hip dysplasia. But when it approaches anything taller than a cigarette butt, up comes the rear leg in that particular doggy salute, like that hip joint was greased, was a greased gimbal, like it was once again a puppy in its prime. They were both relentless. Every time I looked at them, piss, 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 piss. The frequency didn't diminish, even in the last few hours of the trip. Maybe age has reduced their capacity for smelling and they can't remember what they've already marked. Maybe they don't work as a team, but feel compelled to mark over each other's spot. I don't know what the solution is for next year, but anyone who claims she can put on... Oh,
no.
Wait. Wait. I don't know what the solution is for next year, but anyone who claims she can put on a condom with her teeth should be able to come up with a solution. Please.
Man, you could write.
And I want you all to know, in my defense, I had no idea this was happening. Nobody ever told me anything the whole time I was there. I had no clue about my dogs pissing on everything. I had no clue. And there were Mexican dogs there too, don't forget. And so I think they were marking their territory because that's what dogs do. So this was a surprise to me when I saw it in the newsletter after that trip. I was appalled. But anyway. Thank you, Dan. It kind of bonded us.
A little side part of that sharing is that when I found this newsletter, I decided I wanted Kat to read it, and she didn't really know what she was going to be reading. She knew that I had found something that I really wanted her to go read about. And she says, well, let me see it. I want to read it first. I said, no, I want you to read it. Just like the first time.
Cold read.
Cold read. So part of, we were thinking of people that wanted to say some nice things, and Miss Linda James had said she wanted to get up and say a few words. Is she in the? She's still in the house? She's very good. I know glasses are important. Does anybody need a health break or anything? I mean, we can.
Ski, would you remind people to hydrate?
Yes, Kathy has a good point. Remember to hydrate. Drink lots of water, and then you'll need that bathroom we're talking about.
Hey, where did you get the podium?
From Linda James, thank you very much for bringing this podium to our attention.
No, you just picked it up. Okay. I happen to know how Dan loved poetry, so this is a poem, and it's an actual situation that happened, and it's called Dan, Me, and the DMV. I wandered down to Cleveland Street to find the DMV, prepared to wait for hours. I had brought my book with me. I scanned the place to find a seat and to see what I could see, and there was dashing Dan Reifers, just smiling back at me. I took a seat beside him, thinking we could share the wait. We talked about our families, of our travels, friends, and fate. They first called him, then finally me, but we managed still to chat. We had a lot to catch up on, and that was time for that. So wrapped in conversation there, the range of topics wide, that we didn't even notice there was no one left inside. A kind employee soon approached with a shoulder tap I'd received. Ma'am, our workday here is over and we'd really like to leave. Well, this became a lifelong joke between my friend Dan and me. Some people closed down noisy bars. We closed down the DMV. Thank you, Dan.
You gonna go pretty soon?
That was great.
Kathy, who's that? Howard? Howard, you would like to say something? Sure. Good. 'Cause I didn't have you on my list, so come on up, young man. I know, I was trying to be nice and walking around with a clipboard and the wind kept blowing it out of my hands. I was losing my paper. people kept wanting power strip cords and extension cords, and we got it going on. And boy, it sure looks a lot more comfortable out there than about 20 minutes ago when that sun was on it.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
amen.
You can feel a difference.
Give me that thing.
It's good.
Oh, he was a character. Oh my God. I have my notes. And I have my glasses. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of times that I wish I could remember. You know, I do tend to forget.
Put the mic on your mouth.
Oh, better?
Yeah, better, yeah.
All right. Eat the mic.
Stick on the mustache.
Eat the mic.
Eat the mic, yeah. Whenever I was out and about with Dan, which was pretty often, I felt like I was part of a club. You know, we were out there cruising. If it was just going to lunch or going to the hardware store or something, we were always commenting on things, creating images, and it reminded me of my youth. You know, when I was a kid, the guys would get together and go someplace, and it was like us. You know, what's up? What's next? Come on, let's see what is next. And it was always fun when you're with Dan. You know, whenever, you know, we were chilling or out and about,